Hi, I'm Tamara, and welcome to my mini-series on the Enneagram. In this mini-series, I'm going to talk to you about the Enneagram made simple, and today we're going to focus on Enneagram 6, which is one of my favorite ones. Each session, I'll talk to you about a different Enneagram type, and if you really love Myers-Briggs, then you'll like the Enneagram too. Because the Enneagram goes deep, deep, deep into the psyche and reveals another layer of who you are. And if you notice, it's my cheesy way of telling you that the Enneagram has 9 different personality types. And octopus, 8 plus 1 equals the number of Enneagram types. So let's get into talking about the 6. 6s either draw people in or they repel people. So people either find them very engaging or very polarizing. And there's a such thing as the counterphobic type and the phobic type. So your counterphobic type is going to be the one that's doing more of the fighting, the arguing, standing up for the group, or coming together as a united front. And the phobic one is going to be the one that tries to do all of the right things. They're going to make more of an effort to get along with people. They might be more cautious, whereas the other one will kind of jump out there. But what's driving both types is both of them have a strong need to feel safe. And I always say that the fascinating thing about the 6 is I always think of them as sort of a step away from having a personality disorder like borderline personality disorder. Somehow their genetic makeup or something saved them from going into that extra step, in my opinion. So they've got a lot of defense mechanisms and things that are working for them to keep them stable and help them to be able to cope. If you know a 6, then one of the things that's going to stand out is they're very loyal, they're supportive, and they're very compassionate people. They have the ability to draw people in. I think of them sort of as some kids that have been through some crisis in their life or a challenging childhood or things that have been sort of unstable in some way or another, and they know how to draw adults in to sort of help them. That's going to be more of your 6 lane. They know how to draw people in a way to get some of their needs met, but in a way that won't be as offensive. They're always kind of on the alert for danger. So if you're around a 6, they might hear a noise and go, shh, shh, what was that? They might be plagued by doubt. They might feel a certain way towards certain authority figures. Counterphobic is gonna fight some of those people in authorities until that authority person knows that, hey, back off of this person. Let them have a little bit of reins here, because if not, they're going to fight you and they're not going to mind doing it. Whereas a phobic one might be chosen by authority figures to be the lead in certain aspects of the job. They're kind of multi-layered people. They're intriguing to me. They usually have big personalities. They usually draw people in some sort of way. They usually have a good sense of humor. They can be funny. They are either following rules or they're breaking them. They usually have some nervous energy in them. They might have some slight abandonment fears and issues down in there. If you go very deep into their childhood, there is something that happened. It could be they had a parent that had some mental issues, or they had a lot of siblings and they had to step up and sort of be a caretaker at an early age. They usually have something in their childhood that either they acknowledge or they don't really acknowledge that was either traumatic, or they had to grow up a little bit too fast. But there's something in there that makes them as complex as they are. That fear that they have that's deep in them, it drives them, it pushes them forward, it gives them this nervous energy to sort of excel. Usually they draw people in also because they know how people feel. They might latch on to the underdog, the person that everybody's like not believing in or pushing away. They can befriend that person and really bring that person up. They can identify with the downtrodden. They can help a lot of people in tragic situations because they know how it feels. They like predictability, and as successful as they can be, they can also sabotage their success. They can hold themselves back. What's fascinating is if you're really close to a phobic type that follows the rules, they can get into very turbulent states as well. They can also fight. If there's a certain cause or they're standing up for their beliefs, they can see red and they can really put on the boxing gloves, even though they may see themselves as, well, I'm passive, or I don't fight people, or I'm a very passive person. They're tougher than what they think of themselves. On the unhealthy side, or even a healthy 6 can definitely go into a realm where they don't trust themselves. They can't make a decision, they can't move forward, they're sort of trapped, they're blocked in, they're full of worry. I can't go this direction because this will happen. I can't go that direction because that will happen. And so they can block themselves in, they can talk themselves out of things that other people would just go for, take risks, because you only live life once. So sometimes you have to jump out there and you have to take some chances and you have to make some things happen in spite of your fear. A strategy that a 6 can use is, and they're gonna be leery of this because they don't really trust people, and yet the people that they trust, they really trust. But jumping out there and taking chances with new people, it might be really difficult for them to do as far as helping them. Now, they can be very comfortable with helping other people and taking charge of other people's lives and giving people things and seeing a need and jumping in there. But when it comes to themselves and using some services or someone else's expertise, a counterphobic might be better at that than the phobic. The phobic, they can get into a state where they just let life just eat them away and take completely over and not achieve many of their dreams. But then it's extremely painful and hurtful to a 6 when they don't push through and live out whatever dreams and goals they have, whether it's moving to a new house or taking a chance in a new job. They can be their worst enemies. And sometimes they will actually let themselves drown or suffer or just fall to pieces rather than letting someone step in and not trying to control every aspect of what that expert does, and just, move out of their own way because they are very fearful. But that's the thing that also makes them very charming and engaging and enlightening, and that sort of draws people in because they do have an intensity to their personalities. But when they are feeling thrown off, they can snap at people, they can really get fired up about things that maybe don't matter. Somebody's like, okay, let me get out of your way because you are really in a bad mood today. You really snapped at me. I don't know what I did. But people who know them, even ones who might be fighting a cause or a campaign or whatever, deep inside is this nervous energy. Some of them might channel that nervous energy into, they might appear to be a little ADHD or a little hyper, always moving things around or changing things, or can't really get grounded in a way that they want or need to. So they are fascinating people, and underneath might be somebody who is just shaking like crazy because they just can't get a piece of their life going the way that they need to. So they would do well by letting other people step in to help them when they really trust you and they really like you. Especially if you're kind of an intense person yourself, it's fun because they have a multi-layered, intense lane that they usually delve into. You can have some very deep conversations with them. So I find them super fun, but not fun in an ESFP or ESTP way. More in a, let's have a serious talk here. They have a ton of anxiety, but please don't judge them for it. You know, look past it and try to be a soft, safe place for them to fall. You definitely don't want to rev their anxiety up, even though sometimes when they are in that tense, uncertain, chaotic mind space, you can accidentally trigger them or throw them off. They need a reassurance. They need a lot of reassurance, even though they may push some of it away. They need to be reassured. They usually feel in control by jumping in and helping others. They need things to keep their minds occupied and busy on something that they can enjoy. They pretty much have to have that. A person, a cause. Sometimes they are usually helping a lot of people. They may be the person in their family that everybody is depending on, relying on. And it's funny because those people might be driving their anxiety level up, but if you take that away from them, then they don't have anything to do. And so then that can make them crumble as well. So it's almost like they kind of need some kind of a cause or something that they're either fighting for, or some people that are probably, I don't want to say taken advantage of, but they probably kind of are. But they are tough. So some ways to help them would be to laugh and joke with them. Maybe get them to do new experiences very gently because they are going to be a little resistant. Stay cool, calm, and collect when they are overreacting, because they are going to have those moments, but try not to react with them. You stay cool, and that will help them to get themselves out of it. They are playful, loyal, and supportive. When they're at their worst, they can be super controlling, very suspicious, sarcastic, inflexible. However, the great thing about them is they are so responsible, generally speaking. They are very committed to their family and their friends. They can be fun to laugh with and joke with. Very hardworking and intelligent people. So I hope you learned something about the 6. Try pairing it with one of the Myers-Briggs types to deepen that person's personality type. So please hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching my video. Bye!